Hey there, this is Katherine. I am sharing the Welcome Home Hidden Message Kit from Diamond Press. This is part of the latest auto ship I received from HSN. This is all about interactive cards. I'm going to create several on camera, and then I'm also going to show you some that I created off camera. So be sure and stay to the end. Maybe you'll find some inspiration. I'm beginning by gluing these two pieces together. These are the what they call the pull tabs and then the pull tab reinforcement. So I'm gluing these together, and then there's also a pull tab guide that you're going to put on the back that will allow this tab to attach to the card and for the door to flip open and closed. And so that's really fun. So I've cut also out of this purple paper the part that has the slit. So this will be the front of your card. And then I'm going to come back and put this pull tab down. Now you'll take care just to glue the top and the bottom. You don't want to glue that slit down that you can see on camera in any way, because that is where the tab comes through. I've got another video as well showing how to assemble this product that might be a little bit slower than this one. So I'll link that in the description as well if you have these kits at home, that they might provide useful and give you some inspiration. All right, so everything is glued down and I have got the tab in there, and then I'm going to attach my doors. Now, when I first got this kit, I've had it for a little bit of time. I've been fairly busy with home life and traveling and such with a child going to college, and so it's been a while for me to get busy working on this. But I made some doors just for fun. I spent some time just stamping and die cutting the doors. I didn't realize, because I hadn't read the instructions, that I needed to cut 2 doors per card. So this door is going to have a door that's black on the inside, stamped, and on the outside it is this gorgeous gold glittery embossed door. So I'm gluing the black stamped door on the inside because it's not quite as pretty, and I'm going to put this gold sparkly one on the outside. So you can see I've glued one door inside onto that tab, and I'm just going to glue the other one onto the outside. And so that is how you get that door situation opening and closing. That's so cute. And you want to let that dry really well. I would recommend a liquid glue for this. I just find it gives you a little more flexibility and a little more hold. But you could use dry adhesive. If that's all you have, it will work. But I just find that the liquid adhesive gives me so much more flexibility, and I tend to mess things up. And on the first try, and have to pull it apart, put it back together. So that's why I really enjoy the liquid glue. It gives me a lot of flexibility to make mistakes. Okay, so everything, the door is glued on. So I am going to add some foam pieces to the back, and then I will add that to a card base. You can see I chose a dark purple card base, the same as the door front. And look at that, it just opens and closes all day long. How cute for your recipient. Okay, so I have some, there's a darling little delicate wreath that is in there, and I cut 2 of them, and then I'm going to glue that onto my door. Now the windows are open, so I'm going to stick a little bit of paper behind it, just so I don't accidentally glue it to my card. And I'm going to add a little bit more glue to this other one. I just did 2. You probably could do several. I just did 2 to add a little bit of dimension, a little interest by kind of turning them a little bit on their side. And then I'm going to add this gorgeous blue bow. There's this cute little bow that came in this set. So you get stamps and dies in this. There's stamps as well. You'll see in a minute. But I'm going to add this blue bow to the front that is just darling with this wreath and fits perfectly. Okay, now off camera I stamped my arrow that goes on your tab pull, and I also cut the Miss You. I cut that from a dark green cardstock, and I will add that behind the door. This is also included in the set, and it fits just fine behind the door. So I'm going to add that on there, and then I'm going to I want to add something. I know on the front I've got this little pot that has purple, but then I decide to add the kitty cat. This kitty cat I colored like our cat Hobbs, who's kind of an orange yellow kitty. He has bright green eyes, and he's a little rescue cat that we've had for many years, and he is a favorite in our household. We love him dearly. And so he will go on the front of this card, as well as these beautiful lights. There's a stamp and die for that as well. I colored it yellow, and then I added this yellow Stickles glitter glue on there to add that sparkle on my door. Okay, and that is how that part went together. Now I am going to stamp an inside sentiment. Here's one of the stamp sets, some really cute sentiments included in here, and I'm going to use a purple ink for this, and I will just add this to my stamp positioner. I'm going to use an ink called Grape. It's just a deep purple as well, and this says, "Home is where your mom is." So you can guess, if you've been following my channel, this card is going to go to my daughter who's at college, and because I do miss her, and I think she will get a kick out of the little kitty cat on the front too, or her kitty hops. Okay, so I'm going to run some liquid glue on this as well, and that will finish off this card. A lot of fun. I enjoyed the embossing part as well. It just kind of adds a little bit of detail to this set, and I love the door. It is so easy and just a lot of fun. Okay, there is the first one. So let's move on to our second card. I have cut that same card base. I guess it's technically the top of the card, but I'm calling it a card base. The part that has the slit that allows the tab to go through. So I have cut this from Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I am inking this up with some Distress ink. I am not spending a lot of time on this because I actually don't want a super smooth blend. I want this to be kind of a wintry card a little bit, and so I am going to not make it so smooth. So I'm coming back and adding a little bit of a lighter color just to tone down some of that white. This is probably Tumbled Glass, I bet, the lightest blue that I have from Distress. And then the other one was Broken China. So I've got those two, but I'm not going to do a super smooth blend on that because I'm going to stamp on top of it. I have gone ahead and added the tab like I did in the first card, and I am going to start stamping on here. I wanted to use some snowflakes, and I'm going to add those in just a second. But first, let me do my door so I know exactly where to stamp. And again, this door is going to be black inside, and then I've got this kind of silver pearl color that I embossed the other one with. So if you notice, they're two different doors, but that's okay because we're artists and we can do things how we want to. And that's how I feel about it. All right, so I'm going to glue that second door. I've got my mechanism working, and we're opening and closing just fine. All right, now to the stamping. Oh, I forgot, I'm going to add a snowman first. I'm using this cute set from Diamond Press. It was an auto ship, I think last year or 2 years ago. I picked it up on the website. I didn't get it from HSN originally. I think they had them for sale on Diamond Press. So I'm going to stamp this cute little snowman. And I'm just making sure that he kind of fits behind the door, and he does. And so I'm going to stamp him with this Gina K Amalgam ink. This is Obsidian that I use all the time for all my coloring and stamping if I'm using black ink. Okay, he is so cute. And so you'll be able to open that door, and there he is. And here are the snowflakes I mentioned earlier. I'm going to add a stamp from that same set that says greetings just above his head, and you'll see it a little bit through the door, but not too much. And then I did want to add these snowflakes. I'm going to come back with a little bit of a darker blue. This is called Sky from Stamps of Life, and I'm stamping onto this. I'll do the top and the bottom of these. Now off camera, I am going to come back, and the card will be covered in snowflakes. I decided it was just too bare on that left hand side, and so I wanted to make it a little more uniform. So you'll see that I went back around and stamped some of those snowflakes. I have also already gone ahead and made a wreath with two wreaths. I used a kind of pearl blue cardstock and sort of a silverish cardstock, and then a bow that matched as well. So I've glued that on the front of the card. I've popped up the card with some foam, and then I'm going to add this onto that darker cardstock, that sky that matches my snowflakes. Now at this point of the video, I have lost my arrow stamp. In the few minutes between cards, I lost it, and so I'll have to show you what my solution was at the end of the video. I didn't have it the rest of my creation time with the set, and so I had to come up with some other kind of idea of how to add that pull sort of interest. And I'm going to add some stickle glue to this, and I added a blue on the top, and then I'm going to come back with a different blue for his hat. I thought it'd be cute to, when you open the door, he's got a little bit of winter sparkle about him. And so I've got this other tube of darker blue stickles that I'm going to run on there, and I'll have to let this dry, of course. It takes, an hour or two probably for this to dry. And I want to come back with my Copic markers. I'm just going to add a light orange to his carrot nose, and then a little bit of a light pink, that's RV23, just on his little cheeks. And I will let him dry, and we'll check back on him in a little bit. All right. Now for this next card, I created my own stencil. I have been enjoying creating my own stencil as of late. If there's some dies that I like, I cut out a bunch of these beautiful branches that are included in the set, and I decided to use what was left to create a stencil behind, so I could make a stenciled image with it. So I've got my texture paste. I've got a formerly used gift card that I'm using to kind of drag that paste over my stencil to create my image. And I'm going to just scrape off whatever's left, and I will let that dry for a bit. That'll take a couple hours, and I'll just set that aside out of the way, and we'll come back to that in a second. And it is all dry now. I have got this on my inking platform, this Stay-tion, I think is how you say it. Anyways, Wendy Vechhi, I think is how you say her name. I get a lot of questions about this product, and it's just a magnetic board that wipes off as well, so it's perfect for ink blending. So I've got 3 colors of distress. I started with the tea dye, and then I'm going to move on to vintage photo, and I'm just ink blending on this all around. You can see I just dropped my ink pad in there, and I'm going to quickly blend with the tea dye. That comes right up and blends in nicely. I am using that Bristol Smooth cardstock that I stenciled. I don't know if I said that, so I'll just mention that again. And then I'm going to transition to a little bit of a darker color at the bottom. And the camera, I think, is a little too good. I think it makes my work kind of messy on the blending. I think it's prettier in person than it appears on camera. These really, really good cameras, I think, tend to show a little too much. And so I feel like in person it looks a little bit better. But that could be wishful thinking. Anyway, so I'm going to come and blend in over on this bottom, this darker color. And then I will come back with the vintage photo and kind of soften that line a little bit. And I have fun using the texture paste. It just is a fun way to add some interest. And again, I like making my own stencils lately these days when I don't have a stencil of that particular stamp or something like that, or the die. You can just run it through your machine several times and make your own. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside and let that dry for a little bit, and because the distress is a little damp, so I usually let that dry for a little bit. So once it's dry, I'm going to come back and add it to this dark chocolate cardstock, and then I will layer that onto a white card base. And you can see I've got a Miss You up in the corner that I've cut out, also from a similar brown cardstock. And there is an oval included as well in this set that fits the Miss You perfectly. So I'm going to glue that on there as well, and I will pop that up with some foam adhesive. My little Stampin' Up! Foam dimensionals that I use a lot. Okay, so I'll add a few of those, and I will layer this onto my card. And I love the way that it turned out. I'm very happy with it. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to add one more little element to it. They're also in this die set are 2 bird dies, and I have cut a sweet little cardinal. That is a cardinal for me. and I have added it to this card. And that's it on that one. Okay, so these are the 3 that I made, and I wanted to show you some other ones as well that I made. So I resolved the issue with the no stamp by adding a little snowflake. I'm not sure if that's in this set. I had it with those dies, but I'm not really sure, I'll be honest. So I found this little snowflake die that I added on there to be on my tab pull section. And then here is that Miss You card with the texture paste and the homemade stencil. And then I wanted to show you this one as well. This is, I cut a bunch of those branches. I started cutting them to make different stencils. And then, of course, I didn't want to throw them away. So I layered them onto some cardstock, added that I Am Here For You that is also in this set, and those beautiful bluebirds I just kind of sprinkled in there. This card is pretty much one-dimensional. I may have popped up a little bit on the leaves, the pottery, the pots that are on there, and I embossed and stamped that outline of the door. I know I didn't use the outline of the door, but on this card, but I did stamp and emboss it, and then I added some of those bows on top and a little bit of greenery, festive greenery. Okay, on this one, it shows the pumpkins that are included in the set. I used that banner that's on the front, and I added a flower as my pull tab. May nothing but happiness come through your door. And I love the colors. They worked out pretty well on this too. Very fallish, and again with those pumpkins. All right, and then I also made a Halloween one. This is Boo on the front of here. I used that same kind of door thing. I don't know what you call that. My brain is won't think about it. Kind of the banner, I guess I should say. And I wrote Boo. I embossed that, both of these in gold. And then on the back side, you see this little cauldron with some little kind of spooky stuff coming out of it. And then wishing you a happy Halloween. That is a recent set from Diamond Press that was also on HSN that had some Halloween sentiments and dies. Okay, so I hope that you were inspired. If you got the set, maybe you saw something that caught your eye. And be sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and like and share. I'm so excited to share this set with you. I had a lot of fun with it, as you can tell, and I could have probably made about 10 more cards. But of course, I had to do other things. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Have a great day.